Nancy contacted me and she's having some problems with her chickens. She's had chickens for like 20 years and right now it's just not working. They're not laying eggs. Her puppy's kind of chasing them around and stressing them out. So I'm gonna go over there and give her a chicken checkup. Let's go. Okay, so I came obviously because you're having some chicken coop problems.
Yeah.
Can you tell me some of the problems you're having with your coop?
First thing is the chickens will not stay in that coop. They only lay 1 egg a day because they're fighting over one nest. I don't want them in my front yard because they dig up all my plants and
they
all
will.
This stuff and
Little stinkers,
and
they
then
can
come on
dig.
the porch.
Poopy on the
yes,
porch.
I don't want them to do that.
Yeah, I don't like
anymore.
that either.
I'm not sure what I got the coop for.
It's pretty much useless at this point.
Pretty much.
Well, can we go have a look at the coop and I'll just have a look and see what's going on over there?
You may. It's
okay.
this direction.
Alrighty.
When we walked over to that coop and I saw it for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, it needed a little help. It needed a little love. It's like, it had the kind of basic components. It just needed a little rearranging.
We could have stopped filming Chicken Checkup and filmed a horror movie.
So here we are.
The coop. The one nobody uses.
Coop. Did your husband build the coop? I just want to ask that first.
He did build a coop. It was a long time ago after we first moved here. I wanted some chickens, so we started on the coop. But then year after year after year, we had to buff it up because we had a lot of grass and weeds around here, and I'm pretty sure I had a coyote that came. He was stealing chickens. Then I had a raccoon who was stealing chickens and dragging them out there. So it was just, so year after year I buffed it up more.
Right, you have to make those adjustments. A lot of people don't realize how much you have to beef it up for predators when they get chickens in the beginning. They're like, oh, that looks good. And what they don't realize is how determined wild animals are, because that's the only place they get food. They're hungry and searching.
Yeah.
They put a lot of effort into it. So if you have like a flimsy coop or a weak area of the coop, they're going to go right there. And they will come back again and again.
I used to have a possum and a raccoon that lived here.
Yes, they will come back because they know food is in there.
Right.
And they're just trying to figure out how to get it. And sadly, it is a tough lesson to learn. You know, if you lose a few of your chickens, you're like, darn it. And people will blame the wild animals, but it's like, why? It's nature. I love nature.
Right.
I don't hate nature for being nature.
Right.
It's like you love nature. That's what nature is.
Right.
It's up to you to fortify your coop against them. To start out with, we got to obviously clean it up. It really needed a cleaning, and then it just needed a little love.
I do need to let you know, when I put the pullets in there, the Rhode Island Reds were in there.
Yes.
And there was like a civil war going on.
Oh yeah, there is, because they're not all about the same size. They'll be like a boxing ring instead of a chicken run. Oh, there's one of the little chickies, one of the girls. She's like, you gonna fix it? She's all excited. Look at her. She's like, you gonna fix it? Okay, so we definitely can fix this up and make improvements here. A lot of times I think a longer run, you know, maybe the width of the chicken coop, and then just come on out maybe a little farther. Would you mind if we came out a little further?
No, that'd be fine.
And then you would be able to walk between the chicken coop and the shed there, because it won't be nailed to the shed.
Okay.
And I do see a little sun gets into the run, which is a very good thing. You want a little sunshine to get in there. It looks like a great little hen house. You know, it's plenty big. I love the kind that you can walk into and you don't have to, you know, crunch down. I always tell people I built the hen house bigger so I can walk in here. But it looks like you have everything you need in here, but maybe just, you know, rearrange a few things. I think give it a little better feng shui. And then, of course, we're going to clean it up. It looks like pretty dirty. I think you have to stay on it a little better. They look like pretty good nest boxes. I mean, they might be, you know, a little shallow hole to get into, but I mean, that seems like it wouldn't be a problem. I think possibly it's because the shelf is slippery when they jump up on it. This little board where the chickens jump up to walk into the nest boxes is just too slippery, and there's nothing for them to grip on, and I can tell they don't like that.
Chickens are chicken. If it jumps up there and starts slipping around, they get all nervous and run away.
I think it needs a little edge here, and they can grip that and then step onto the little porch and into the box. Also, if you collect the eggs from the other side and somebody's in there, that might just scare them. They're in there like all ready to lay an egg, and you open the back and they're like, ah! This coop has the back door that you open to get the eggs. And I don't really like that method of getting the eggs, and I'm going to tell you why. Unless you really, really know your girls, know your flock, and you know when they're done laying and they're out of the hen house, because they're literally chicken, just waiting for that open and right behind them. That's the thing, it's behind them, and then it's kind of dark and cozy in there, and you open that big lid and it just, the light comes in and it just gives them a heart attack. This, can you imagine that you're in there, that you're just about ready to lay the egg, and Nancy's like, good morning, got any eggs for me?
I haven't lifted that
and this is so heavy, and then you go, okay.
But they do get irritated if I do open the door and they're in there too, so I quickly
They really
shut it.
do. After a while, when you have them all in here and it's a routine, you'll know, like my chickens are morning layers. Like I know they like eat breakfast, and by like 10, all the eggs are laid.
Right.
That's just their little routine, because they do only like one nest box as well, even though they have several. So their little line, they have their line of hens who's laying next. And then like by 10 they're done. So I just know to collect my eggs in the afternoon.
Right.
So I don't bother anybody.
But see, I got in the habit of doing that because when the Rhode Island Reds were in there, somebody was eating eggs.
Oh, well, a lot of times that has to do with nutrition. You're not feeding them enough. They're not getting enough animal protein.
Okay.
And they're hungry. Some people will think, oh, that's a bad hen. It isn't. It's not getting enough food. Rhode Island Reds are like kind of bully chickens, but they are fabulous egg layers. So, I mean, if they get along in the coop and you're not having any problems, it's a great breed to have for eggs. So if I were you, I would collect the eggs from in the hen house here. I wouldn't open the little back part back there.
Then that would explain why they have this little nest in the back of the goat barn where it's dark and shady and nobody bothers them.
Right.
But there's only one nest for 5 chickens. So it
Well,
doesn't work.
that's sufficient. One nest can accommodate 8 chickens, up to 8 hens.
Tell them that.
So, but a lot of times we'll have to discuss what you're feeding. If you're not feeding them enough, they just don't lay. They don't have enough nutrition to make an egg every day. Because they have to feel very private and very secure to lay. If they feel bothered or startled in any way, they're just not going to want to lay there. But I'm positive we can fix that up and they're going to love it. Well, and what about your chickens? Like, how old are these? All young chickens?
I started out with chickens. Started out with leghorns.
Love the leghorns.
Well,
You don't like them.
the leghorns is okay.
They're efficient layers.
But they fly.
Yeah. They're a flighty breed. They're a nervous
so when
breed.
I let them out,
Yeah.
when they go to roost at night, they be up there.
Oh, yeah.
I decided, well, I just get some Rhode Island Reds. So I went to my friend's house and got 6 Rhode Island Reds. I figured, that's enough for me.
Oh, yeah, that's plenty for just you and your husband.
Yeah. But then it was spring, okay? So my granddaughter decided, oh, I want some chickies.
Because they're so cute. And then we go to the store. Oh, my goodness. I know. I tell people, you better have self-control and don't get too many.
Right. So she ended up with 6 of them, but then she had them over there where she lives, which is in the woods.
Oh, yes.
And so they got pretty big on her, and she couldn't keep them in their little container anymore.
Oh.
So she brought them over here.
Oh, I see. She's like, Grandma has a coop.
Right.
I'm going to bring them to
And
Grandma's
she says,
house.
You could just keep them until we get our coop done. Well, she never got her coop
Of course,
done.
yeah.
And so that's when the Civil War started between the Rhode Island Reds and the Pullets.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I sold those, and now I'm ended up with these.
So
But there's
also you scaled down as well, because 12 is too many.
too many eggs.
Too much, and it takes a lot of feed. And this coop is kind of small for 12, especially if you want to keep them in the coop so they don't get on the porch and dig up your plants and stuff.
Yes, that was quite a bit.
This is like going to be so perfect for your 5 hens. If you we'll get this set up, and if you feed them right, your 5 hens will lay more eggs. You'll still be giving eggs away.
Okay.
So it'll be perfect.
Hopefully.
I noticed you have like this lattice and then wire. Now, did you do that for ventilation, or like why didn't you finish that down all the way with wood?
First, I started for ventilation.
Yes.
Okay, because they were in a coop, and in the summertime in Florida, it's hot.
Yes, it is.
And so I wanted ventilation. Okay, so I figured when I started out, just the wire, chicken wire here, I figured was going to be sufficient.
Oh.
Well, then, of course, as I said, we had raccoons. I never had, not that I know of, a snake.
She wants it very predator proof. All her dogs sleep in the house. They're couch potatoes. So she doesn't have a farm dog outside to protect her chickens.
So then I decided, well, I got to beef it up more. So I put the lattice in there.
Oh, so just the wire was first, this
Right.
plastic wire.
Right.
Yeah,
No.
there's not much support
Well, it wasn't
there.
the plastic wire. The first thing was the chicken wire, if you could see that back
Oh,
there.
yeah, we got layers here. I see
Yeah.
that, yes. See, I love people that just will keep making the adjustments and not give
It
up.
was kind of like a battle.
It is a battle. You're like, I'm going to win. It's so funny. But a
Yeah.
lot of people give up a little too early. And it's like, no, keep going. Make
Right.
another adjustment. I mean, that is part of keeping chickens or homesteading or whatever.
Right.
You know, don't give up so easy.
Right.
And I did notice you built the coop in the hen house under these beautiful trees, which is such a smart idea. A lot of people don't do that. And you have to build the coop in the dark shade.
Yeah.
Especially here in Florida. They have to have dark shade. Chickens overheat very easily, as you can just imagine, with all those feathers and everything. I just want to tell you just real quick what I see, and what I'd like to do is I'd like to take these down and move those. I'm going to put 2 over here. And I'll make a little ladder for them. So they'll be up high, they'll kind of be in the corner there. It'll open the coop up so you can get in here. We'll hang this feeder. And of course, we're going to give this thing a good cleaning. Let's get going.
All right.
I'm excited. So we're just going to move this stuff.
The hardest part is always demolition. It's like, oh boy.
Yes, and when it's a bunch of tangled wire, you're trying to like take it all apart, and it's been patched a million times. It just makes it 10 times harder.
And pulling a nail or something, and then you pull it and your knuckles hit something.
Ouch, yeah, that's really hard. I like chickens, so I like building. And chicken coops are the perfect thing to build because they're not too big. The chickens don't care if it's perfect or not, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But you know, you kind of want it neat and tidy for your enjoyment when you look at your coop. This run is 20 feet long by 6 feet wide. I am making it the same width as the hen house and then coming out 20 feet. She has, I think, 5 hens in this coop, so it'll be a nice size. There. Now get that far away from us. We don't want to tangle ourselves in that while we're working over here. So we're going to put the posts over here so we don't stumble on them. Nancy had her coop in the right location under a big shade tree, especially here in Florida. But one of the problems I noticed right from the get-go, it was a very dirty coop. It needed to be cleaned, and that was just very moist in there, and there was a lot of flies. And no animal wants to live in a little area that's just infested with flies buzzing around everywhere.
If you get too much moisture, you could start getting bugs.
It doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to get like some of it.
Yeah,
Oops, I'm sorry. Because I'll tell you why. The bugs hide in that, so that's good.
Yep.
That's good. Don't get any more. So put that out by the hose. We're going to hose that
Okay.
out. Put that in the grass.
All right.
I brought a scrub brush because what I need is these things scrubbed sparkling clean. Okay, obviously to save the food, don't just dump that.
No,
I
I'm
think
not
that
gonna
looks clean.
Waste the food.
Looks clean and good. It has an ugly orange bug on it. Ew! This coop was very, very dirty inside, and so that just held moisture. It was very wet in there. Oh, look, there's a cockroach climbing up the wall. Good grief. How long is the screw?
Well, you got to be coming to the end short. There you go.
Okay, so now we have to get this out of the door. So I'm wondering if we should just put it through this little door right here.
Good idea.
I don't know if the screw is spinning from the outside and it's getting a little looser, but not very loose. It was a very dirty coop. It needed to be cleaned, and that was just very moist in there. There's a million flies, and that is just horrible. You don't want that. I'm moving the roost to a new location. The roost is located like long ways apart across the coop and the hen house.
Just the poop go the whole thing. It's a poop.
It's a poop line.
It's a poop line.
We're going to use this one and that one. So here, look. I'll put it right here, Nancy. You spray that all off with that screw. Don't move it. Let go. And so they just walk up and down the big long roost pooping.
What's that called? Crop dusting. It's a poop crop dusting.
So I'm going to relocate that to a cozy corner so they can sleep in the corner, and then cleanup will be so much easier because it'll be right on one end of the coop.
It'll be poop zone.
Yes.
You're going to have poop zone, food zone, egg zone.
Now we're going to get it in here. There. So I can go a little closer. They can be a little, so they can hop from one to the other. You know how hens are. In the morning when it wakes up and it's up there on that roost, it's like, hey, like that's what they love that. It takes them a little while to figure it out because, you know, they're not exactly Einstein, and they figured it out and they were all up there on the roost every night. And the only thing I told Nancy is if one just gives up, it can't figure it out and gets in the nest box, she needs to gently get it out of the nest box and put it up on the roost. Like just help it for a couple nights until it figures it out. Do they have little chicken tape measures? They're gonna be like, not good enough. We're not coming in this hen house. There, I think that'll work. It takes them a little while to figure it out, but they do figure it out. I'm glad we're recycling and reusing these screws and this wood. Why waste the money? Throw away really perfectly good stuff that's completely usable. I think they can make it up that though. I'm wondering, I'm like, is it too steep? Oh, that's in there good. Okay, that way. That is really sturdy. This almost needs another one too, though. The run doesn't have to be as tall as the hen house. Obviously, we are going to build this run where the chickens have plenty of room to stand up and flap their wings because they will do that in the run. We're running out of daylight, like they all say.
We were running out of time, and so I had to actually put the camera down and help because building the run is way more work than we thought it was going to be. Pounding in all those things and running the wire.
Yeah, you want to get it up there good. You know, you want to get it up there good, and twisting the wire to the stakes is a little time consuming. So that's what we're doing here is we're like lining up the poles to make it the right size, but it doesn't have to be like 4 or 5 feet tall.
So I love this green wire. It is so perfect for building the run. It's 3 feet tall. It's just strong enough. It's not like thin, lousy chicken wire, which actually rusts away and just falls apart almost.
The good part about building the run like this, it's one piece of wire wrapped all the way around the run, if you calculate it right. Okay, so that's far enough for now.
Okay.
And just a little bit of slack. I'm gonna nail this to the side here. Okay, look at this. Perfect calculations. I'm gonna fence Nancy in the coop, okay? You're the big hen of the...
Could be.
You're the hen.
I'll just walk over.
You're the hen of the barn. No, we're just gonna get it to here, and then we're gonna go attach it to each post by the time we come back and attach this last. Look at that.
Awesome.
Now this coop is 20 feet long by 6 feet wide. That 50-foot roll of wire is perfect. I always pre-bend this a little extra. If you want them to stay on there good, you gotta bend them. If you get it tight enough, the nubbin will hold it up and you won't be able to, you know, the wire won't slide down. Now we're gonna put a cover on the top too, so the chickens will never get out, which took a little work because we have to wire 2 pieces together and then lay it across the top. And nothing will ever get in.
Okay.
Okay, well, we're just gonna finish up the coop in there and then I'm gonna get the wire up. And while she's doing that, I'm gonna put this board on the coop. I'm gonna put this little lip on your nest box so these hens can jump up here because we want the little hennies perfectly comfortable. I want to clean those out a little better so I can drill and put new hay in, but do you have any gloves, work gloves?
Yeah.
Okay, you go grab those, please. I noticed a lot of flies in the coop already. Like, I put down heavy diatomaceous earth.
Right.
You're gonna need more diatomaceous earth in there because it's just, you know, got wet yesterday and the
Right.
coop was so dirty. The eggs
really?
can get dirty and diseased in a dirty, poopy place. So they're not gonna lay it there because in their mind, it's not gonna hatch. It's
Okay.
gonna kill the egg. So the nest boxes have to be clean and dry.
See, I didn't know that.
Let's show this. They're not gonna lay their eggs in that because their little babies aren't gonna be born in that. And first of all, I'm not even sure the eggs would last until the chicks hatch. That's why the chickens aren't using these nest boxes. Drainage holes. Okay, so I think we can hose that out now. You were telling me that in the past you had some chickens that weren't getting along and evidently somebody was sleeping in the egg boxes. That is a problem you don't want. You have to have a roost that there's plenty of room for everybody. And then the nest boxes stay just for egg laying because once they get poopy, the chickens aren't going to want to lay eggs in there. So that's just something that a lot of people don't realize. They're like, oh, they're sleeping, like they're cozy sleeping in the nest box.
No, there was a fight going on, and it was ongoing between those Rhode Island Reds and those pullets, and it never quit.
Yeah, I tell people, you know, it's hard to put the little ones in with the big ones when they're different size. So I'm sure it were the pullets that were sleeping in here, which that just means young, like teenage birds.
I'm not sure which one was sleeping in there, but...
But they were doing it for a while for, you know, how dirty this is.
Yeah.
And then what happens is it gets so dirty, the chickens just stop laying their eggs in here. Overcrowding, they just don't get along because there's not enough room for them to get away from each other. You know, like if I don't like you, I don't want to live like, you know, right next to you. I want to be on the next 10-acre piece and then we'll get along. You know what I mean? So that's what happens.
Pretty much what they did. They just spread out.
Yes, now they can spread out. They don't like a lot of hay. They just like a little bit of hay. If you put too much, they don't like it. Light on the hay.
They're pretty picky.
Light on the hay. I know what hens like. They don't like a lot of hay. Okay, so we'll leave this air out. Since we got this very wet, cleaning it and the inside of the coop, you know, we'll let it air out. And tonight when you come, you can just close that and then let the chickens get in. Come on, Nancy, it's done. I want you to see it.
Oh my goodness, look at all this. That's great.
We have a top on it all the way down just to make sure nothing can, you know, get in there at nighttime.
Right.
It's very heavy wire.
Right.
And then we have obviously the side, so you can just leave them in the coop all the time. You don't have to let them out every other day or every day. If you feel like, when you feel like letting them out, you can let them out.
Okay.
That's the beauty of the nice run like that. And then indoors, we have it all clean. I built the ladder up to the perches. I rearranged the perches and I put them on this side now instead of having them all the way across. So it does make cleaning easier too because they poop when they sleep. And now you'll just have this little area to clean and shovel out instead of a whole coop.
Right.
This side should stay really clean over here.
Okay.
So that's the whole idea of that. I put the little lip on here so they can jump up into the nest boxes.
All right.
That should solve that problem. They should just be able to hop right up in there. At night when you first come out, if somebody's sleeping in there, I would just get her out and put her up on the perch.
Okay.
To kind of, you know, train them that's where they sleep now because they're going to be a little confused at first.
Okay.
I hung the food container here now so no bugs or ants can get into it.
Oh, okay.
And also the food goes right here in the middle so there's no way chicken poop can get in there from the perch or anywhere. So it's in the free zone here, which will keep that clean at all times. And then I didn't put anything in front of the door so you can come right in and collect your eggs every day. Also, I did a good coating of diatomaceous earth on the floor, and this might need a second or third. Just, you know, after the chickens mix it in, we'll do it again, and then a third time. Well, Nancy will do it.
Yeah.
So you can unlock your little door there. We're open for business.
Awesome! I love it!
I'm so glad you like it.
Yes.
Hopefully the little hens are going to just be laying up a storm for you.
We hope.
I'm going to show you a kind of feed to feed the chickens. It's going to help your hens lay better.
All right.
And you can see what's in that. So if you wanted to mix your own, you can.
Okay.
You know, you can just look at the bits and pieces. And then I brought you the most awesome fly trap. And we just need a little water and we can fill this up and hang it. And then it'll really help with the flies in your coop.
You did such a good job. You really are like the chicken whisperer, trademark copyright.
I just can look at some place and just know how to make the animals happy. I don't know, it's a gift, I guess, but it is just, I could just be like, okay, these chickens want to sit here and go here, and like the nature of the chicken.
And Nancy was like, oh, I don't think they're even going to go in there. And then she called you on the phone and she's like, oh, look, they're going in there.
They all went in.
Thank you, Becky, for coming by and giving us a chicken checkup.
I'm so happy. I'm so glad to come by, so glad to help you. And if you have any problems, you can just email me and let me know, and I'll try to help you.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Alrighty.
If you want to be on Chicken Checkup, make an audition video saying why Becky should come to your homestead and help you with your chickens. Make a video, put it on your YouTube channel with the hashtag Chicken Checkup Casting.